Hey guys, I'm Azra, and in this Lord of the Rings Rise to War video, I must apologize myself because I have made a statement about this weapon, the Black Mace with the flavor Dominate, which isn't working out like I thought it would. Let me first read the effect of this. After commander attack against enemy commander, 50% chance of reducing next damage dealt by a certain percentage. When you have maxed this out, it will be 60%. So what I thought was this. I thought that once this procs, every ability damage of the enemy commander being dealt against you will be mitigated. But after receiving some reports, we have seen that this just isn't the case. Only the first attack that strikes you, the first ability attack of the enemy commander, will be mitigated. Now, this can be exploited because the enemy commander can make it so that his first ability he is throwing against us will be his weakest ability. So what good is there by mitigating his weakest ability when after that he is following up with his burst abilities? And this is what high commander damage dealing commanders do. They throw bursty abilities and lots of abilities against us. Now let me show you how the commander who's dealing high commander damage can counter the special effect Dominate just by picking a specific skill order. Because remember, the order in which you pick your skills is the order in which they get unleashed in battle. So, Zagrid has, for example, in regards to his abilities which need 1 round before they get unleashed, 2 skills, being Breaking Defenses and Swing. So I can already tell that I would first pick Break Defenses. You might argue and say, hey, why would you pick Break Defenses? Because it is dealing much more damage. Yes, but only against one target. And I want this ability being mitigated by Dominate, so my ability Swing can deal full damage against 2 enemy targets. As you see, Swing is attacking 2, which means we are dealing more damage in the end. If it comes to abilities that need 2 rounds before they get unleashed, we are talking about Topple and Enemy of Rohirrim, as well as Disarm. I think the ability I would first pick is Disarm. And then I would pick Enemy of Rohirrim, as well as Topple. Because Disarm is dealing the least amount of damage, we want to make sure that when this effect gets unleashed, it is our first effect, because the first effect gets mitigated by Dominate. And there you go. Dominate has been countered by the specific skill order of a commander who is dealing high commander damage. You can apply the same logic for other commanders that are doing the same thing, and thus Dominate has been countered. We can't get any value out of this anymore, and we have to look for other choices as our number 1 weapons for the Undying as well as for Gorbak. But first, let me give a big shout out to Tim. He is a member of our community, and it was him who pointed this out. And after seeing this weak spot in this formula, I must correct myself, and I also wanted to let you all guys know that it was Tim who found this weak spot. So, after having established that, let's move on to alternatives for the Black Mace. Once more, we are here back at our weapons sheet, and I think now, after updating it, our number 1 choice has become Reckoning. Why do I think so? So, as you know, Reckoning already has decent stats. It is also giving us +1 attack for orcs as well as Urukai, and this already is a big change. We now have Urukai in our composition, and after playing around, I now have a team composition with Reapers, Warlords, as well as Urukais. And this is working out greatly. And I can only recommend to you all, try this team composition. This is great. But now, let's look at our flavor, because now I think Retaliate is our number 1 choice, because allied melee units, when hit by enemies' normal attacks within range, perform a counter attack that deals a certain percentage damage. However, your normal attack damage will be reduced by 70%. I still think that this is some next level shit. Not just only because I have seen reports from other people who praise this flavor, but we will be running with melee units anyway. Maybe this is worth a try. I just have seen the reports and I think I will be going for this too. But if you want to go with a more solid choice, like less luck based and more steady damage, you can always go with Might of Soldiers for your melee unit. But if you don't have the Reckoning weapon, you can still go with the Black Mace. Unfortunately, it doesn't have +1 attack for Urukais, but it is our number 2 choice. And in this case, I would be running the Flavor Panic just to also have some madness going on as a special effect. Still, guys, I think Reckoning is much better for the Undying. This is my opinion. Let's see what you think in the comment section. Now we also have to look at Gorbek's weapons now, because everything has changed. As you see, the Black Mace is now sitting at the very bottom. His number 1 choice, I think, is now Reckoning with the ability Retaliate, since the new trend is showing that this is some next level flavor. We just have to see more reports coming in and comparing them back and forth. But for the time being, I think Reckoning with Retaliate is his number 1 choice. If this is still too risky for you, you can always go with Glaive of Minas Morgul. I think this weapon has overall solid stats, and maybe this is even his number 1 choice. I don't know, guys, this is my speculation, but I will try out Reckoning with Retaliate. If my choice should change in the future, rest assured I will let you know. I still need to experiment with these stats, with these data, with the reports coming in, and once I know more, I will let you know. But yeah, as a third option, I think the Black Mace can still be used, but not with Dominate anymore. You would be running it with Panic. Let's now go over to the reports and see why Dominate is such a letdown. Now here we have a player of ours being Decimus Maximus. And by the way, big shout out to Decimus Maximus for providing me this report, because after looking for so long, we finally have found a fight where somebody is equipping the weapon with the effect Dominate. And here I could see how the mechanics of this weapon work. Let's have a look. Let's jump into the report. Since Dine's ability Dominate didn't proc in round 1, I had to skip over to round 2. And here we are. First, the shadow attacks, then we skip all the way to the bottom here until Dine gets to attack. After he attacks, as you see, he was lucky. Dominate finally got a proc. And the Shadow's next damage dealt will be reduced by a certain percentage. Since the Shadow already attacked in round 2, now I have to skip over to round 3. Here we are. The Shadow activates Plate. Now Dine's Dominate comes into effect and it is mitigating the damage by 10%. And which damage it is? It is mitigating Plague, and only Plague. And that's what I'm talking about. Imagine if a commander had picked an ability, like a very weak ability here, which is getting mitigated. That would be crucial, because that enemy player can make it so that after this attack got mitigated, he can now follow up with burst abilities, which are dealing much more damage than his first attack. So we now have a barrier of Dominate proccing, and also that Dominate is being countered by a specific skill order of the enemy commander. And that's where I think Dominate is being countered and we can't get any value out of it. And that's it, guys. This is what I wanted to show you and apologize for. And again, big shout out for Tim, who pointed this mechanic out, and also Decimus Maximus, who provided me this report. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys, so thank you a lot. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like and consider subscribing. I see you guys next time.